Alright lads, so today we've got some exciting news to talk about, and that is the fact that we are getting a new difficulty level coming to Bleach Brave Souls. This is the first time we have seen it, and it is going to be introduced tomorrow morning for the new inheritance trials, which will feature Aaroniero enemies. And this difficulty level is going to be called Ultra, which in my opinion sounds pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. Now this is very exciting for many reasons. For starters, it's going to speed up the process to T20 your characters, which is a very grind. It's a way bigger of a grind than it should actually be, in my opinion. Although I don't think this is going to speed it up as if we got 5 times IT, you know? It's not like we're going to get 100 pots per run now. It's most likely going to still be a similar drop rate. Let's say, for example, current IT, if you get very lucky, you could get 20 pots per run. But then a lot of the times you could get 4 pots per run. So what I feel like this new difficulty is going to give is probably similar amount of drops, maybe a 25 if you're lucky, but I think it's going to give us a higher average drop, so maybe like 15 plus guaranteed every run. If that's the case, that would definitely be a good thing, especially for those that do like farming IT. Either way, this isn't a 5 times IT. It's not going to make it so you can, you know, link sort your character in one day, although I would like that. I definitely would have preferred 5 times IT, but either way, this is definitely a good change that's going to speed up the process, even if little, in my opinion. And at the same time, the reason why I'm most excited for it is because it's a new difficulty level in Bleach Brave Souls. If you don't know, BBS lacks hard content. I'm gonna be honest, we all know this, right? There's rarely anything in the game that requires you to transcend your characters, right? Senkamon, just have the perfect character. In certain situations, if you don't have the perfect character, then sure, you can use the transcendent character. Guild quests, sure, max transcendent characters clear faster, but to stay in an S rank guild, all you need to do is just complete the guild quest, and you don't need max transcendent characters to do that. 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5 team is perfectly good enough as long as you have the characters and the accessories. Look at epic raids. Again, transcendence makes you clear faster, but you don't need it to clear epic raids. Same goes for IT, IZ. Nothing in this game really requires you to have a 5 out of 5 character, and that's something that I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. It's kind of a good thing for free-to-play players out there. You know, it means you don't have to feel forced to summon for a 5 out of 5 character. But when you do have a wide selection of 5 out of 5 characters, it kind of does suck to a certain extent that there's nothing to really use these characters on. You know, we get Frenzy plus 2 characters. Aizen exists. We have all these broken ways to power up our characters, but no content to really make use of them. So I do appreciate that they even mention him. Ultra difficulty features even stronger enemies. These foes should prove a test even for transcended characters with bonus abilities. So not even transcended characters, they're talking about max transcended T20 characters, which is kind of cool. And if it really is hard and it really does require you to have a max transcendent character or a character at T20, that's going to be a good change in my opinion. Even if it is alienating some of the beginner players out there or some of the mid-range players out there, this should potentially be giving you a reason to actually work on your characters. And that's something I've been wanting for a very long time. So I'm really hoping this new difficulty tomorrow is going to be something like that. Hopefully it's a very good drop rate and it's actually going to be encouraging you to use your max transcendent characters. And if it does, that's going to be a very good change in my opinion. Because we all know why KLab are doing this too. If you don't know, when something becomes way too easy, KLab change it. So say for example, Guild Quest, right? People started getting sub 1 second on Guild Quest, they had to add a new difficulty. That's just how it was. Currently now people are getting sub 1 second on the hard difficulty of GQ, but it isn't as consistent as it was, you know, a year ago when we didn't have the hard difficulty of GQ. In IT, people were autoing. I've been autoing. Me and my guild, I've been starting to farm IT a lot more because you can just auto it now. If you get a good team together, not even max transcendent characters, we were doing like Orihime runs, for example, Desert Ichigo on the technique only days, and we were autoing IT. And we do that for like the 6 hours because one, it's actually a good thing. We don't have to focus on the game, but our clear time is like 2 minutes, which is actually pretty good for an auto team, and that's how I've been farming IT. So it's obviously clear to see that Keller probably didn't like that. They didn't like that we were just autoing IT, and now they're adding this to potentially stop us from autoing. But you know, there's going to be certain situations where you can auto. You know, I'm pretty confident that our 4 team of 6th anniversary Aizens will be able to auto IT when there are Soribas. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this does turn out. IT always had a pretty good difficulty level in my opinion, because the way they designed it is you can use anyone you want. You know, IZ for example, sometimes those runs can take a bit longer than you want to because you're forced to use these certain links or characters. In IT, you could use whoever you want, and the Iron Skin ability where they take less damage unless you inflict a stat element, I thought was very cool, and it kind of balanced out max transcendent characters, because if you don't have a max transcendent character, then bring someone that has an increased chance to inflict a stat element, or bring someone that has stat elements. And if you did have a max transcendent character, then bring them, they will do enough damage to basically bypass the iron skin abilities. So I always thought, and I said it, you know, when it first came out, I always thought IT's difficulty level was actually pretty decent as far as difficulty goes in BBS, and I actually thought it was a good thing. But unfortunately, as far as the community goes, and the same goes for myself to a certain extent, no one really appreciated the difficulty level. Instead, we all just went at Caleb's neck because there was no 5 times IT, which again was very valid. Even with this change, I would still like to see 5 times IT, but it's still a nice change just to see, you know, again, 5 times epic raids in a potentially 2 months time or something like that by the end of the year. This should hopefully increase the speed in which we T20 our characters. Even if little, I'm welcoming this change, and I'm very excited to see how it's going to play out tomorrow. Definitely expect a video. Hopefully the drop rates are good, and yeah, I'm excited. That's personally just how it is. I personally love to see harder difficulty in the game. I would never stray away from hard difficulty content. Having said that though, for this IT session, which again is going to last a month, so it's going to be Aaroniero boosted, so you do want to be bringing your Aaroniero killer characters, right? So for example, if you pulled the most recent Bruno, he's definitely going to be a go-to character for this, and the enemies do have Super Killer, so potentially don't bring Super characters, especially if they aren't transcended, or make sure you just don't get hit, because you're going to go for a lot of revive candles if you do bring a Sorba character that's 1 out of 5. At least if you have the Ichigo links, you can actually afford to die once or twice, but just make sure you are ready to not go through 100 revive candles through just this one session. The enemies are resistant to freeze, so unfortunately someone like, you know, 10 years later, Rukia won't be able to be used here. I mean, she still could be used if you have a max transcended, but she isn't going to get her key highlight, that being having the increased chance to inflict freeze, but she's still going to be a viable option in my opinion. But she does hit hard enough anyway to be usable regardless. And then the hazards around this map are going to be burn pools, so make sure you have characters that are immune to burn, or if anything, if you want to try and auto this content, make sure you have the Wonder Wise link activated, because that's going to be a key to beating these IT quests in auto difficulty. But yeah, that's the big thing for tomorrow. Is this going to be faster than just autoing normal difficulty? We'll find out. I'm excited either way. Hopefully you guys are too, and let me know what you guys think about this difficulty in the comments below. Are you someone that strays away from hard difficulty? Because I know when max transcendent characters came out, everyone was like at Caleb's neck saying don't add harder difficulty for transcendent characters, and this is pretty much the first time they may be potentially doing that, so I'm all for it. It's been 2 years since Transcendence came out. I think it's about time we start getting content designed for it. That's just my opinion though. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.